Hello everybody, Gliderman here. So today we're in Artboard, which is a program for Mac that allows you to do basically vector drawing. So what we're going to be doing today is basically making a little icon that you could use, like let's just say for Mac or iOS apps, or in theory, even Android. So you probably won't be able to see this, but we're going to go up to File, and then we're going to drop down to Templates, and then we're going to do New from Template. And we're going to be in the iOS graphics template folder that comes pre-built with Artboard. And we're going to click on App Icon, which is 512 by 512. Don't get confused that it's exclusively 512 by 512, because what you can do is you can export at a higher resolution than that, based on percentage. So we're just going to click New, and then let me just resize this window. Okay, there we go. So you're going to see here that it comes with two layers, a foreground and a background, right over there. This toggles visibility of that layer, and I'm not quite sure what the colors do, but I'm not too worried about that. So, in our background, which we have selected now, what we want to do is we want to do a gradient, because that's just how iOS icons work. And you don't need to do the cropping on this for the rounded corners. Apple will do that automatically. So all we need to do is just draw a square, and let me make this fit in window. So now I'm going to jump back to a selection tool, and then I'm usually somebody who manually types in these things, so I'm just going to go 256, which is half of 512. So now that's centered, and then I know that it needs to be 512, and then 512. And no stroke. And then what we want to do in order to achieve that gradient is go to the Style Inspector, which is here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our plus, and then we're going to look for our gradient fill. And that's going to be the key thing, and you can see that we're getting somewhere now. So I'm going to click to rotate, and I want it to be exactly 90 degrees, so I'm going to hold shift, and you're going to see that it pops up those locking. So go there, and then I'm going to click on this, and that's going to adjust the white point. So let's see here. Let's say I wanted it to go from there to there. So right away, I now have a very nice gradient, similar to the mail icon. In fact, the mail icon, oddly enough, is actually like this, which I guess better illustrates, sky. And I wouldn't quote me on those colors, though. But for right now, I'm just going to rotate it down to there, and then I can just close out of that. So we've got that all set up, and then we can draw whatever we want in our foreground layer. And then that's typically like some sort of white white foreground, white image on top. So we're going to just do a box like this, and we're just going to do this. And so you're going to see it's got the wrong fill for it. So we're going to jump to our Style Inspector, and then we need to get into the window, and then just delete that. So now we've got our style set up there. I'm just going to bump the edge down quite a bit, and then over here I'm going to start manually typing in 256, so that centers it. And then we'll do 400 wide, and then 315 tall, and then a radius of 60, just for fun. You can go like higher, so let's just say 100. Just the handle locks to a certain area. So I'm just gonna go, 60. There we go. And in fact, I'm not going to have any fill. I'm just going to have a stroke set up here. And the stroke is the basically outline. So if I click over here, you can see we've got a line. And for things like iOS, we know that that is typically white, so just pull that up. And then I'm going to bump up the thickness, something pretty thick. Maybe even thicker than that. Let's try 45. Yeah, that looks about good. And just going to pump that down and that down. There we go. So now we've got a very nice and simple icon. I'll change that to 100 size. So that teaches you how to do a gradient and then a little bit of how to do like the iOS style icons. And then exporting, it's basically just file and then export, and you can export as a bunch of different image formats. Not as a scalable vector graphic though. It doesn't support doing that, even though this is one. So you won't lose any quality if you make a raster image or like a PNG and that kind of stuff. At a really large resolution, like let's just say I made it double this resolution at 1024 by 1024. You would not lose any quality. It just won't export as an SVG, even though that's technically what it's stored as. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!